Mission 3, down and out. Welcome to Stalybridge. You'll be running an all-stop service to Manchester Victoria, departing from the Bay platform. So, yeah, hey guys, and we're back to Dovetail Games, Train Sim World. So, yeah, running from Stalybridge to Manchester Victoria today, as the mission said. And, yeah, it shouldn't be too bad a service. So, yeah, let's head over to our train. I know where the crossover bit is, of course. In here. There we go. Cool. So, yes, it'll be a quick service today. Actually, not too long, I don't think. I mean, the mission length is about 35 minutes anyway, so, yeah, not expecting too much. But, should be quite good. Should be quite good nevertheless. So, we shall head over to our train now. The DBR Class 101, the good old Diesel Railcar. And we'll get that train ready to go. So, since we're coming in from the rear first, I think I'll actually set up the back of the train, just get that one going. And then we shall get ourselves a journey. So, set stats to Manchester. Not Marsden, Manchester. And then set up the lights as required. So, these ones will be reds and reds. Destination lights on. That looks good. Close the door. And just quickly check that. Manchester it is. Window. Can I raise the window? Window's already up. Fair enough. Right. Let's head over to the other side of the train. To the driver's side. And let's get this set up and ready to go for today. So, unlock the right hand side door since we'll be letting passengers on from that side. Main power switch comes on. And reverser into the forward position. Loading passengers now. And while we're at it, we shall also make sure that the train is ready to go. So handbrakes released, emergency brakes released. Destination is Manchester. Lights are white. Destination lights on. Train in first gear. And engine start. I mean, I believe it's already started. My sound is turned down super low right now, because I know people had an issue with the fact that you can hear me in previous videos, so in order to sort that, I've just had to turn down the volumes to crazy low levels. While we're at it, let's also turn on the wipers. So that's to, well, set that to run, shall we? If I know how to, of course. Obviously I don't, so I've set it to park. There we go. Run. Let's lock the doors. And let's get this train ready to go. So, brakes. We shall release. The part when ready. Release all the brakes. And increase power. So, 1.3 miles to Ashton under line. We need to be there at 7:35. 7:35 shouldn't be too difficult. Leaving the station, we can leave it at hang on, what's the gears? There we go, leave on neutral. 50 miles per hour to leave the station as we hit the points. Next signal is red, though I presume it'll be green by the time we get to the next bit, because the fact that the train ahead of us did leave at some speed, and presumably won't be stopping at Ashton, so he'll be just clearing that anyway. And once we have left the points, we'll then be able to increase our speed. There we go, taking the right hand side, which will be the line to Victoria. Line on the left, I believe, goes to Liverpool, but again, I don't quite know the area too well. And there we go, speed now increases. So gear to 2, throttle goes up. Looking good. Switch it to gear 3. And then in a second, we can then bring it to gear 4, where we can then leave it until we come to a halt. There we go. So yeah, like I said, the BR Class 101 Diesel Railcar. Definitely starting to get more of a hang to it now. Driven it a couple of weeks, driven it in my free time and whatnot. And I think I'm now starting to really like figure out how to drive it, how not to like overshoot stations, undershoot stations and whatnot. And I will say, it is a really fun train to drive. I really enjoy this in Diesel Railcar Simulator. It's nice to have a train of that kind of level in Train Sim Mod as well. Right, brakes we shall set the valve to lap. And in a moment we shall start slowing train down as well with the normal braking. We're a couple seconds late. When I say late, we should arrive towards the end of the 7:35. We'll apply some braking, start slowing train down. Lap it at that. In fact, let's release a bit of brake pressure. As I always say, as long as we're entering the station at 30 miles per hour, we should be alright. There we go. So now I'll just set the braking to max. And the train will slow itself down to the end of the platform. That will do me fine. Unlock the right. Make sure we're on the station. Yes, we are. And a little bit of trouble for some passengers, but for the majority of them, they were standing at the short end of the platform. So we'll be here for a couple of seconds before we do head out. Make sure that, yeah, tail lights are set. Destination set to Manchester. All looks good. And yes, we are a 2-car variant as opposed to a 4-car. Right, you two will board us in a moment. Got 2 more passengers coming down this way. But, just because I want to try and be on time, let us release the brakes. Gear down to 1. And power goes in. There we go. Now bring it to gear 2. In a second, we'll then bring it to gear 3. Next station will be parked, needs to be there at 7:41, so we've got a couple minutes for that, we should be alright. And with the line speed at 50, we should be able to get some decent speed in as well, actually. As I say in previous episodes, we are allowed to go a little bit faster than the line speed if it helps us get on time with our timetable and whatnot. Something that majority of train drivers do here in the UK. I mean, what is this now? 38, so we've got 3 minutes, 3.8 miles. We should actually make some decent time on that, actually. Maybe come a little bit early if we go up to decent enough speed. Line to the left, not sure where that goes to. But we are going to continue straight on. Oh wow, park actually really is quite close to Manchester Victoria there. We've got that, we've got a station on the curve here as well, and then it goes into the station itself. So, yeah, it really isn't actually that long a journey from Stalybridge. Not shorter than I thought it would be. Anyhow, green signals for the majority of the journey. Not expecting too much in the way of issues here. Make sure the brakes are set to lap, so that when we start slowing down, which would be easier to access that as well. Throttle, bring it down, train into neutral. Slightly downhill, so maybe we'll put a little bit of brake pressure in, just stop it from accelerating. Go. It's a little much maybe. And there we go, that should be enough. 52 miles per hour. Just under 3 miles to go. Yeah, really just a case of playing with the brakes right now, kind of get the good balance between the two. 53 is a little fast, there's maybe a bit too much pressure now. In fact, now I can release the brakes, as the throttle can now go up. Preferably if he selected a gear as well, probably help us a little bit more. And the fact that we are heading downhill does kind of help us as well with the speed. If I quickly set the camera, say here. Classic sound of British Rail, that. Anyhow, let's now sort out the speed of the train. It's going a little bit too fast, even for the slightly above the speed limit thing there. There we go. Yeah, looking much better now. Start releasing some of this brake pressure. And we've only a mile to go as well. Mile to go, 10 seconds means 41.30 we need to be there. It's 40.50. We're making not too bad timing, 60 miles per hour. We'll go a mile in a minute. This means you should make it there just around 42 past, really. 18 minutes to. That also depends on how well I brake as well. I mean, what, 0.9 miles to go. Park will be approaching very shortly. So in a couple of moments we'll start applying some lights braking. 57 miles per hour. Start applying some braking now. Looking good. Now apply some max braking. And the train will stop at the platform. I'd say towards the end of it. We shouldn't miss it, but it will definitely be towards the end of the platform. Maybe actually assist that braking, maybe. There we go. A little bit late there, but we did it. We did it. Release the brake, emergency brakes. We'll release the driver brake, and then we will apply a lighter mountain just to kind of keep it steady. There we go. And that should hopefully give the passengers a couple of moments to get towards the train. If you're too slow, unfortunately, I have to leave you behind. But, hey, you all know I'm a bit of a ruthless train driver, especially for my Wilder Subway series. I was horribly ruthless in that one. Right, brake pressure released, and throttle to 1. Or gear to 1 even, and throttle to full. Man, yeah, controlling the horn in this train in the sim ain't exactly it's not exactly the easy thing to do, really. It's one thing I wish Telltale games did a little bit better sometimes. I mean, yes, the sliders, they're useful, they work, but sometimes they can be not unresponsive per se, but it can lead to a little bit of a mess sometimes with the mouse. Right, miles platting, coming up in 800 yards, and the red signal coming up as well actually, so we'll bear in mind with that once we do come to a halt. With this station we'll actually probably be accelerating right until we get to the platform. And we're only getting about 33 miles per hour now, so we'll lap the brake. Ooh, that was luck there, that signal changed to yellow. I just realised that it was actually before the station, not after it. I thought we were going to be stuck at the station, but nope, the red signal was just before it. Station actually coming up now, so I will now start applying some braking. Throttle idle. Let's start slowing the train down now that we're at the platform. we go, again a little bit shorter than the actual markers, but as long as we're on the platform, that's the only thing that Train Sim World really keeps an eye out for. Let it get to neutral, and well, yeah, we'll be here for a couple of seconds. I must say, actually a very curved platform this, bear in mind you're on a junction. Kind of reminds me of a bank on the Central Line here in London. The platform kind of just curves around and... yeah, it just curves around. I mean, bank in reality was a former terminus of Central Line. Once upon a time, back in the 1900s really. 1900s before they extended it, and yeah, over time it kind of just became less of a terminus and more of a interchange station when they extended it both ways. So release the brakes, gears to 1, throttle up. So, next station will be Manchester Victoria, where we will terminate, and then we'll get to figure out what happens next. Like I said, it's about a 35-minute long mission, this. So there probably will be something to stick on the end of that as well, or it'll be like a return to a terminus or something. We'll see. We'll see what the mission gives us. A little bit too early on the throttle there. There we go. 1.2 miles to go. We should be there at 7:48. It's now 7:46, which isn't terrible. Not by my standards, at least. We actually now need to slow down quite heavily, so we will lap the brake. Or not even lap it now. We can release all the brake pressure since we are already in the open track. My guess the speed there was for the points. But since we never took the points, speed doesn't really apply to us as much as others. Right, apply some brake pressure in now. Stop us from accelerating, actually slow us down a tiny bit. There we go. And we can probably keep it on that now until we reach the main junction into Manchester, where I presume we'll be going to take a terminus platform. I don't think we'll be taking the through one, especially with our service terminating here. Yeah, we do actually take one of the southern ones. Alright, so get ready to apply some braking now, since I can actually now see the station just starting to appear in the fog, ever so slightly in distance. Time-wise, we're actually going to make a decent time there. I've definitely been later in some routes by the end of it, so certainly ain't terrible for me for once. For once, we made a decent time. Who would have thought? Alright, let's actually carry on the braking, so it's coming a little fast. Now release for the braking. And there we go. With that, we should only be able to just pull into the end of the station. About 30 seconds of a give. Can't really complain with that one. Alright, taking the left platform, I believe here. Yes, we are. So, we'll go down towards the end of the platform, underneath the sheltered bits that passengers have to walk in the rain. It'll be a little bit easier for me to kind of service train as well after that. Apply the brakes. Apply the, actually don't need to apply the secondary brake, as we're going to call it. So actually make a decent stop there. Unlock the rights. Lap the train there. And since this, actually a bit of a leaky roof there, I will say. It's still raining in here. I'll park the wipers, and since this looks like the end of the route, what I will do is start shutting this train down. So, lights are off. Throttle to idle. Reverser to off. Gear in neutral. Key off. Lap the brakes, that's fine. We can release them as well if required. In fact, yeah, I'll just lap it here. Handbrakes, that's fine. Set the handbrake. There we go. And close the window. There you have it. Not a little bad journey that. Still apparently 15 minutes of the mission to go. So, Right, what's this now? Lock the doors. Lock right. And this unit to be taken out of service, change your ends and run it over to Newton Heath depot. Okay, so there will be a depot run, which in that case I remember seeing earlier, there was an empty to depot service, there it was. And then these we all set to reds. So there actually is a little bit of an extended mission to this one. Very nice indeed. Now I want to close the window. Thank you for pushing me, that was very kind. And let's now quickly sprint to the rear of the train. The fact that we've set it to empty depot and passengers still on board, so does kind of show almost that this sim doesn't quite understand what to do in this sort of instance. I will say, out of all the train simulator games I've played, World of Subways by TML Studios is still the best of them all in terms of simulating everything basically. Ooh, did I not set the parking brake on the other end? I do need to actually now go unlock that. The handbrake, I twisted that, didn't untwist it. Released. Close the door. Run back to the end. And get back on board. Yeah, like I said, TML Studios and World of Subways are still the best when it comes to passenger modelling and whatnot. Right, so why aren't we going? Maybe because I hadn't set the reverser. So, shouldn't be too far to depot I don't think. I shouldn't even know where this is. So, as we slowly leave the station, follow the route. There's the bit we turned on to. We actually take the side platform, following you by the looks of things actually. Then enter the depot, which comes. Oh, it's quite a bit of an extension actually. That takes the train quite far out of the normal routes there. I do like that. Again, it's the fact that these lines aren't quite as linear as they used to be. Gives a bit more life in Train Sim World. I do like the fact that these lines are no longer linear. I mean, they still are in many regards. Don't worry, they are still to be expanded on, but for the most part, it's definitely a start. It's definitely a start, and I do quite like to see where the sim is going in the future. Trains and World has definitely improved since its initial release as CSX Heavy Haul, with routes that people actually care about, and trains that are a bit more functional, let's be honest. Not 100% there yet, but we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting there. One day Matt Peddleston will release steam trains, but don't tell him I said that. Nah, one day we'll see a steam train. I know Dovetail wants to do a steam train, but no idea when that will be, because it just doesn't exist yet, technology for it. What am I doing right now? What am I doing? Just get in third gear and leave it at that. We're coming up to the line speed anyway, 20 miles per hour. And since this is an empty train to depot, empty train to depot, I don't think we need to really look into any like speed limits or anything at the moment. Yeah, empty to depot, empty to depot. TML Studios, I mean, again, World of Subways Volume 3, the London Underground simulator, that had a proper functioning announcements thing, automatic announcements, and with that, if you press all change please, all passengers would depart the train and change. The roll binds in Train Sim World probably should do a similar function, or at least give us working functions in this sim. I mean, like I said, we're getting there. And speaking of that, actually, we saw the preview for the next route as well in Train Sim World, the next German one. Again, we know which route it is because of the fact that the code was leaked with the name of it in the thing, but the fact they put a question mark on the announcements option does lead you to believe that maybe, just maybe, we have got announcements in Train Sim World soon that will get said throughout the train. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely excited to hear it. Anyhow, 1.5 miles to Newton Heath now, as we slowly increase our speeds. Leaving it in third gear maybe wasn't too bad. So station will be to our right hand side in a moment. We'll probably get probably catch a quick glimpse of it before we do enter the depot area ourselves. Yeah, there it is, just ahead of us now actually. There it is. Next signal is red in 500 yards. Apply and set, because we are definitely not ready for that red signal. Thank you, train, for having decent brakes, now that I know how to use them. And let's slowly crawl up to that red signal in 300 yards. So I'll check the map what's causing that red there. Or if it's a case where I just need to ask the driver a request to go past the red. That can actually probably be done from here. Denied, no route available. Signal has just turned green on the other hand, so that won't be too much of a case for us. It's just orange piping on the station. Like I say, Manchester in the 1980s, not exactly the kind of place you'd want to be. Unfortunately, it was quite a grim place at times, with the fact that all the factories were closing down, the coal mines being shut, and Margaret Thatcher had kind of forgotten about the North. Falklands War's not for another 2 years, but yeah, it's kind of probably one of the more grim times in the UK since the General Strike of 1923. The General Strike shutting down the entire UK for 2 weeks, causing basically no electricity to run the entire country. Trains, boats, buses, anyone in the Union were gone, and yeah, the whole country was just gone, basically. There was no way of bringing it back until what actually caused the general strike in 1923. I remember as a result of it, they actually banned all general strikes because of how much devastation it caused, but I don't remember what caused the actual strikes. I mean, the strikes in the UK was during the there was a 1980 strikes, which was caused by the 4-day working week, because there was not enough coal in the UK to actually generate power for 5 days for businesses to run. So work weeks even were shortened to 4 days. Now protests all around the UK against it. Then we're shutting down the mines because coal was cheaper abroad, which led to the miners' strikes for 2 years. And then, yeah, just slowly over time, more and more departments shut, more and more people kind of just groups together to figure out what they're going to do. Now I'm going to check these points, make sure that these are all set correctly, because that is something we hadn't checked. That one's wrong. Signal before it is red, so we'll need to be able to stop there. Just as we enter the depot area now, probably just to tell me this train's not ready to go. Proceed at restricted speed. Okay, we are actually allowed to pass the next signal, which will be red. Right, so welcome to Newton Heath Depot. It's a depot, it's where they store trains, basically, here in Manchester. I believe it's still active actually to this day, Newton Heath. Yeah, I believe it is. I don't think they've shut it down for any reason. It's not like R.com, which shut down in December for the new HS2. They pulled the track on the Northolt-Acton line, the new... what was it actually called? The new Northolt line or something like that. But yeah, they pulled that, which meant that the famous London Ghost train, the Chiltern Railways from Paddington to South and West Ruislip, got cancelled. And actually the train's now running from... West Ruislip to Greenford via the Greenford branch. Right, let us leave the power now. Set the gears to neutral. And start playing with the brakes now to start slowing the train down. There we go. Release that. Have we gone the right way? Have we made a wrong turn? Gosh, we really have, haven't we? No. Yeah, set the reverser to reverse. I did not realise that we had made such a drastic error in our direction there. Alright, gear 1. Throttle to 0, so we can kind of reset stats. There we go. I hope we don't need to go more than 160 yards because we need to turn this train around. What track should we have taken? How badly have we messed up? We need to be on this track, which connects at this junction here. Right, yeah, that is less than 115 yards, fortunately, so we won't need to cross the reds. But, I did not realise I made that much of an error of judgment. I swear I set the points as well. I checked it for that very reason, but nope. I still managed to flop it. Oh. Give me 2 seconds. Right, so now that we are back on track, if you can pardon the pun. Yeah, no idea what happened with that lapse of judgment there. Again, I swear I checked every single path on that line to make sure all the tracks lined up and whatnot, but no, we seem to just completely overshot that and ended up in no man's land. So I've checked it again 3 times now, just to ensure that we will be on the right track and we will end up on the right platform, or at least the right bay for our ending. No idea what happened in my mind there, but we should be alright now. We should be alright now. There, check. That's fine. Check. That's fine. Check. That's fine. Let's just cut the throttle, and in a moment we shall start with the braking. Yeah, so that's to lap. Track is just ahead of us now. And there we have it. We have our docking track here at Newton Heath. So we shall put the brake in now. 100% it will fine. Train will stop here, which is good enough. Jet's complete. That's right. Duty's complete. Secure the train and disembark. Sounds good. Let us secure the train, I guess. Gear to neutral, reverse to off, brakes set to lap, key off, and there we go. Disembark, climb down the train, and take a break. Take a break, take a Kit Kat. Right. Make sure we've got the waypoint, which is just by the door over there. Well, actually, not even by the door. It's miles away. Where are they taking us? Yeah, overall though, not a bad mission that. Not a bad mission by any means. Maybe if I knew where I was going as well, it made a bit more sense, but nah, I enjoyed that. It was a bit of a different journey as well. It's nice to see a bit of depot action. I do quite like, again, I always like these depot kind of missions. Refueling missions are still my favourites, but nah, these ones are always still pretty good. And there we have it, down and out, from Stalybridge to Manchester Victoria, and to Newton Heath Depot. So, it took me 31 minutes, 32 seconds complete, all the videos for 35 minutes now, because of the fact that I went the wrong way, whoops, and there you go, 10 miles driven, 700 yards walked. Level 35, level 7, level 4 on the train, not bad at all. So, I think now is a good time to end the episode there. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do like if you did, do subscribe. Apologies for the fact there's been some gaps in my Train Sim World videos. In fact, in all my videos, I do need to get back on that very shortly. But no, it should be alright now. We should be back on daily, even weekly videos. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.